Hello guys and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So today I have called my friend, my colleague Anaga. So she was working with me at IISER Pune and currently now she is working in a clinical company. So I thought of asking, and I really thought of asking her for the interview, her experience, her research journey. See, it's not necessary that everyone has to go for the PhD. You can clear your CSI, you can go for PhD, but it's not necessary. हर कोई research, हर कोई PhD नहीं करना चाहता है, right? So even if it's like this condition is है, जहाँ पे आप research करना चाहते हो और फिर company join करना चाहते हो, तो कैसे approach करना चाहिए आपको? तो उन सब के लिए I thought calling her and asking her research experience will be the best way to answer these kinds of questions. So I'm inviting her. Let's hear her journey, her experience. Questions were asked during her company interview and how it's her experience. ठीक है, तो हम लोग ये सब पूछते हैं, देखते हैं उनका क्या कहना है. And guys, if you have any questions जो आपको लगता है आपको पूछना चाहिए, you can ask me in the comment so that I can ask her or you can. So she is going to respond directly to the comments. ठीक है, so let's call Anaga and listen her journey. Hi Anaga, how are you?
Hi Ruby, good seeing you after so long.
Yeah, it's been long time. So thank you for accepting my invitation. So this is like, there is small academy I'm running. So I'm taking interviews of my friends, colleagues, my seniors, and so that they can share their research journey. And this is going to inspire the other students also. So that's why I'm inviting you over here to share your research journey. So I would like to know first thing about you is about like what motivated you towards the research.
I may be able to point you the reason why I got into research, but I'll try to elaborate on this a little bit. Uh, uh, During your 11th and 12th, you have this option whether you want to go for science or some other sites. So yeah, so I was interested in biology always. So when I started with my college, I started with biotechnology, graduation in biotechnology. So there I would say good professors, who used to tell us how this discovery came into picture. They used to tell us stories behind that, and also they always encourage us to read those boxes given in your reference books where they tell you about scientists, their background, how did they become scientists, and so on, or particularly how that discovery came into picture. So that got me into thinking, wow, this is really wonderful if you can contribute in such a way where you can actually make a difference. At that time, I would say I did not have much idea like what goes into research, what are different aspects related to research. I only knew like you discover some research. That was something was very intriguing to me, and I would say that that is the point I thought I should pursue this as a career.
Yeah. Nice. So once you completed your graduation and post graduation, so I know that you joined IISER Pune, right? So for your project JRF. So can you share with us like how was the interview?
Yes.
What kind of questions they asked? Because this is going to help the other students also.
Yes, yes, sure. Actually, when you pass from college, you are a fresher and you don't have much idea, like, or you're not so much exposed to core, labs and all that. So I did not know what to expect in interviews as such. So the only side that I think was being pressure of all the knowledge fresh with, and relate to subjects very quickly. That was one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think at IISER they don't ask you very hi-fi questions at all, like how this technique works and that. They don't ask you such questions. I believe they try to see your thinking ability, if you can solve particular issue or not. So usually the questions are very, very basic. Like I remember I was given some equation, and I was told to plot a graph for that. So and I would say that they don't expect you to give 100% correct answer. They just see how you try to go towards the answer, like if your thinking is in the right direction or not. So that was one thing. Then they ask you about your MSc dissertation, what kind of project you had. So they'll ask you some questions regarding that as well. So mine was about quorum sensing. So one of the interviewer asked me about protein purification. How did you do it? How did you ensure that it was pure form? How did you compare that? So they ask you about what you have done so far, and they test your ability to answer a particular scientific question which you will be hired for. So but to a very basic level, just to test your thinking ability and problem solving ability. That's what I would say.
Yeah, nice, nice. So then where did you join, like, and what was your project, like, upon what you were working?
My IISER interview, after that interview, there was a big gap in between. So I joined somewhere else, and then then I got this offer letter that you will be joining IISER Pune. So I was given initially. So there were two projects in lab at that time. I was given a choice which one you would like to start your work with. One was this diabetes model. Then there was aging project, and the one was Maharashtra Gene Bank program. So these were three choices, and I thought, yes, this diabetes thing looks very different. Let's try that out, because I had not done any statistics, anything till then, and I thought I would be able to learn so much from that. So that was the start point for that particular project, and it went on for like 4 or 5 years. So it was very interesting. So if I can explain a little bit about it. So
Yeah, sure.
basically the question which was being asked there was whether correlation between two entities can determine the causation. Like, can you determine the causal arrow? Like, if A is to B or B is causal to A, or both together cause something else. So that was the question, and that was put into medical scenario where type 2 diabetes was considered. 2-3 people in the lab were already working on or they were doing their PhDs on this particular topic in different aspects. So this was little bit of a statistics based model. We had one more person working on that, Suraj. So he used to do a lot of programming. So I started more on Excel thing. So we used to have parameters, we used to run the simulations. At the end we'll see what happens. There was a lot of trial and error. I would say for first few months we were doing a lot of trial and errors, and after that we came up with the four rules as such, and then after that we stick to that. And then there was lot of processing, lot of mathematics going on there. Actually, after so much of a rigorous process, we could publish that work.
Nice.
So that was that was some rewarding point. So that was the first project I ever worked there. And the second one was this Maharashtra Gene Bank program. Of course, you are obviously aware of that part. It was a huge project, including so many other organizations, and it was, socio-economic kind of project. And IISER Pune was again a coordinating institute, so there was a lot of interaction with a lot of people from ground root people. Uh, Although we were majorly involved in marine component, where we used to go on field trips, we would collect the samples, then we'll process the samples into the lab, we'll segregate, isolate the microorganisms, and from there real work would start, different assays. There would have been there was so many things associated with that. You could just say this assay and you would be able to do that. Not just basic anti bacterial assays or antifungal assays. We would do this MTT assays. Then this blockbuster thing, that predation that happened. So we tried to get into the compound which uh, was involved in this bacterial predation. So these were few things I had opportunity to work on, and so many other different aspects. Not just our own lab, there were other labs which had similarly very other interesting works. And being part of the institute, we could witness other research, like what other people were also doing. We could attend various seminars, webinars, um, lab presentations. So that way we could get an idea of what is actually going on in this big institute like that.
Yeah, nice. So it was a really very long project, right? Like 4 5 years you have spent at IISER Pune, right?
Yes. So initially it was for 5 years, then it got extended twice. So yeah, it was like 6.5 years of projects.
Yeah.
So yes, and because so many other institutes were involved, yeah, that had to be
Yes.
that longer of a project.
Yeah, nice.
So many
So,
components involved in that, not just marine. We had like other like crop diversity, then fish diversity, then animal diversity, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it took a while to finish.
yeah, nice. So once the project got completed, then where you got like shifted to the other aspects, like you went to some company or somewhere?
Yeah, so our project was till September 2021. Um, so by the time we started, completing all the documents related to project completion and all that, I started looking for other opportunities, and I came across this clinical research opportunity. This is the company called as Ascentrik Research. So there, I got selected there for senior clinical research associate. So yeah, from October 2021, I've been associated with Ascentrik.
You mean 2020 because 21 is running now.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, October 20. Yes, right. Because of COVID, I just lost the log of time.
Yeah, it's okay. So nice. Like even this is also good. Like from a research, academic lab, you have gone to the company. So was it this transformation, like
Yes.
moving from year to year? It was difficult. Like, are you able to cope up with the company lifestyle?
Um, it's little different than what we are generally used to in labs, because in labs you have a lot of freedom in terms of working hours, or the kind of work you want to do. You can just pitch your idea to your supervisor, and they allow you to run your own experiments. That way companies are very different. They have their set USP. You have set of instructions, you have to follow that. You have to follow the working hours as well. So that way it was little challenging for me initially, but eventually I could cope with that. Work wise, it's fine, because whether it is lab or whether it is company, you have to work hard to get that particular goal or your deadlines. So that way it's fine. The only thing is the time frame that you have to stick to, which in labs it's very flexible. You can work as per your convenience or maybe availability of instruments, whatever it is. So that way it's little different. Initial period, of course, was little difficult, but then eventually you can, I think you can, get through that.
Like, so do you remember like what kind of questions company had asked like during the interview?
So first round is generally your aptitude test, where general aptitude is tested. 10 to 15 questions, very general. I think most of the people will go can crack that first round. So that was very general. Second round was a little specific. It was again a test. So that was little specific to the process or the work I'll be doing if I was selected. So different drugs and clinical trials related tests and all that. So that is again time bound test. You have to complete within certain time. Okay, once you get through that, then you will go for an interview. So I was asked about the various pharmacokinetic parameters, like what does Cmax mean, or what is area under curve, or what are other parameters that you can think of. Such questions I was asked. Then I was also asked about if I know any clinical trial registries, like US FDA has a clinical registry, or like Health Canada, or WHO registries, etc. So I was asked if I was aware of those registries and what kind of data is put in. Such kind of very basic clinical research related questions were asked. And also I was asked, how will you use your lab experience into this domain? So basically you need to be very organized in when you work in the lab, and that goes very handy anywhere you go. You have to manage so much of data of your own, your colleagues at sometimes. So that is a benefit when you go from a lab background. Then there is some clinical or preclinical data where a lot of lab techniques are involved, which you will come across when you talk about clinical research, like some mouse model studies or animal model studies and so on. So that way your lab experience will be very, very helpful. And I was asked questions on the similar lines, what kind of experiments are conducted to test a particular drug and so on.
Nice, nice. So it was really nice, Anaga. Like, I mean, even I came to know many things about clinical research life. So it was really nice. I'm really sure my students are going to be very much benefited with this interview. Thank you so much, Anaga. It was really nice talking to you, and your experience. It was really nice.
Thank you so much for including me in your interview. I hope this will help students, to not when you do biotechnology, you are open to so many other fields. So I was also initially not aware of such fields. If I had somebody like you to tell me, or somebody giving me such interviews, maybe I would have learned more. So this is a really great initiative from your part, and
Thank
I
you.
think your
Thank
students
you.
are really lucky to have you as their mentor.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.